everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Teach Better Today morning show where the Teach Better team gets to join you live every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, and also as an episode of Teach Better Talk podcast. We are back from the new year, which is so exciting. And I brought Barbara with us. We are going to have such a great show. The energy is going to be so high, friends. So get your coffee, but you may not even need it this morning, and we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. I got my vanilla latte ready for the fun, and Barbara's here. How are you, Barbara?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy New Year, Ray.
I know. Can you believe it? It's officially 2024. We can say happy 2024 to everyone. And some educators still have another week of winter break. Some are back now. So I feel like we're in a great transition to kick off the year strong.
And I love to say goodbye to 2023, but not without reflecting, because we all know that the learning is in the reflection.
It's true. I feel like we might even talk about that today. Just feel it in the air. This is good. Barbara, there's a lot I want to dive into with you, and I am absolutely going to encourage right off the bat that anybody who is not connected to you in our Teach Better family needs to get connected to you. Before we get too far in, do you mind telling us a little bit about who you are, what you do in education, all that fun stuff?
Okay, yeah, no, not at all. My name is Barbara Gruner. I live in Friendswood, Texas, and I am in my 40th year of education. I know, wow, 4 decades. It's incredible to have seen what happened between 1984 and today. And people will ask me, like, are the kids any different? No. The kids have different issues because we have different resources at our tips, technology, etc. But the kids are still kids. They still need that love, that guidance, those connections. And so this year I'm serving in the capacity so that I can make author visits and help my aging parents. I'm serving as a guest teacher, and I'm helping the district I'm in do triage. So if a special case comes up where they need a veteran teacher who's also been a school counselor, who's also been a mom, who maybe speaks Spanish, they can call me, and I'm kind of their one-stop shop. So I am having a great time. Yesterday, I started a long-term sub for a 3rd grade class whose teacher is having some surgery. So I've just been so blessed to stay in the thick of it, but still have the flexibility of traveling some and leading some PD and writing my books.
Yeah, I mean, there's endless things that we can talk about just with that intro right there. But the one thing you didn't mention, which now that it's January, you have a baby on the way in your family. And I know you must be also counting down the days for that big celebration too.
Yes, thank you. February 19th or around that time, I'm going
around that time.
our first grandbaby, and she's a little girl, and I just came from an ultrasound. So I got to kind of see her moving around, and what a gift, what a blessing, and what a new opportunity, right? Because now my dream job, grandmother.
I love that. I love that. You know, I'm not sure if she's chosen a name for the little one yet, but maybe Ray could be on the table. I feel like this is a really good boy and girl name, but now that you know it's a girl, it's perfect. I'm just saying.
It's really beautiful. And they're not telling us. They did let us know the sex, but they're not telling us the name until she comes out, and they want to make sure it fits her, and then we're all going to be surprised. So I'll put that on the list, Ray.
I appreciate that. See, that's all I asked for.
Of course.
You know, Barbara, you have done so many things, obviously continue to support educators. I want to make sure our community here learns about your books. I mean, author visits are something that every single school values and is something that's always so magical to bring the author in and to really share the insight. So please tell us a little bit about your book.
Okay, so I have a chapter book from 2014 called What's Under Your Cape. It's more stories and strategies for educators and caregivers. Not as popular anymore because as time goes by, sadly, books kind of, just it's still relevant, but it's not new, right?
Yeah.
Then I was able to work with Dr. Jean and two other amazing educators over the pandemic. And so we have a 242-page guide to online learning, but it's also got some concrete stuff that you can totally do. You do not have to be online, but it was called the Virtual Classroom Survival Guide. That's only available at TPT. So we tried to make that easily accessible for teachers. And then my picture book's called Mr. Quigley's Keys. It was published on my 60th birthday back in 2021 by EduMatch.
Oh.
And it's realistic fiction around a janitor, a custodian, a maintenance man whose keys jingle through the hallways and just give these kids such this incredible warm feeling that they just want to be like him and they just want to pay him back. And it's this wonderful empathy, compassion, and kindness trifecta thing with Mr. Quigley and his jingling keys.
Oh, I know so many educators are going to race right now to go pick up those resources because, first of all, so many of us love Teachers Pay Teachers, and who doesn't love following EduMatch journey? That EduMatch is one of the wonderful, very, very popular publishers out there for education resources. Now with your books there as well, I just think it's going to be so fun for everyone to go and pick up those resources, not only for themselves but to also bring it to their classroom.
Thank you. I was on an author visit a few weeks back at this amazing school, and they had 2 grade levels per session, but it was cozy because it was in the library. So we were all squished. I had this big key. And so it just came out of my mouth, empathy. I was going to say empathy is key. And then I went, oh, I just made up a really cool new word. And the kids would go, no, Mrs. Gruner, it's not empathy, it's empathy. And it was just this they were so respectful and engaged just because I kind of pretended, but not really, to make up a new word. And now I'm thinking there's something there like empathy. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Well, when I'm telling you 200 kids at a time, but you could heard a pin drop as I read that book and they'd be like, wait, is Mr. Quigley real? And I said, he really served in the Korean War and he really lost his hearing in that war. That's a sacrifice. That's deep kindness. And when he came home and had children himself, he never got to hear their voice. And these kids are just riveted. Like, where is he now? And sadly, he passed away from a heart attack. But we have all this stuff about what's your legacy and how do you treat everybody like every day is their birthday. And it's just got so much wrapped up with this beautiful bow. And Sarah saw the potential and Mandy helped me get it published in my focus group. And it took a village, but it is so rewarding to go from school to school and plant those seeds of humanity and kindness in their heart.
Well, and something beautiful, Barbara, is because you didn't just put words on paper with some color and call it a children's book, but you truly went through this process of designing a rich story with really key takeaways and, built such a beautiful element here. This is not just perfect for a kindergarten classroom up through elementary. This is perfect for any grade level because we can all learn and be able to take different ideas and lesson plan around this great hook that you can start with. And I'm sure being able to talk to you either in person or virtually just gives that story more rich detail.
Well, even the librarian said, man, I did not read it like you read it. And now I get to read it. She had her volunteers string a little antique key on a satin ribbon for all 700 students. And so on the way out, they all got this key that's kind of their takeaway. And does this unlock anything? And I said, it could unlock somebody's heart or maybe your imagination and the metaphor with keys and locks. And even if you want to take it, Mr. Quigley's a can-doer, you can take it further and say old locks don't open new doors. And all of a sudden you have this, so much, value around something as simple as a key.
I love this concept. And I think that this is even great to bring in as early as tomorrow to your classroom, right? Teachers listening right now, this might be something that can start the semester off with that, not only the magic, but the real reflection that comes from bringing this in just around the new year, don't you think?
I do. And we put ASL, American Sign Language, in the book because Mr. Quigley is deaf. And so we talk about deafness. And then my illustrator did such a beautiful job of making a diverse classroom. So there's diversity and hearing impairment. There are so many different layers. Sometimes I think we put too much into one book, if that's possible. No,
Nope.
But Sarah is the mastermind, and when she said it was a go, and she loved that he was an unsung hero because he's the custodian, but it's not about the title, right? We all know that. That's nothing new. It's about how he moves about the world and truly treats every kid like it's their birthday every day.
So special. Friends, we're going to transition here into our team talk, but I want to give a huge shout out to Sarah and Mandy from EduMatch, and especially encourage all of you to go pick up not only all of Barbara's books, but especially this incredible children's book that's out. This is appropriate for any age level, and I am confident that if you reach out to Barbara after grabbing your copy, that she can give you some great ideas for lesson plans that are appropriate for your students in your community with skills they need to work on. Because I love that there's an enormous amount of details with this book that gives us so many cool options. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Teach Better Today morning show. I am so glad and honored to have Barbara here with us. Barbara is an author, an amazing educator, a soon-to-be grandma, and just an all-around good human to have in your life. And so I want to encourage everyone here, please, please, please continue to add her to your network. Bring her your questions and continue to grow yourself by adding new wonderful people to your circle. Barbara, during our team talk, we love to focus on anything that our community can maybe take away and incorporate into their day. It's Tuesday morning, it's January, we're all coming off of this winter break, and we definitely want to make sure that this semester is full of a big impact. So if you had to think through an idea that you really hope our educators keep in mind for whether it be today, this week, this month, this whole semester, what do you feel like you want to challenge our teachers to think through?
Okay, so I'm going to go with yoga. Now, maybe it's not your thing, so let's just talk stretches. The last 2 years, I was working part-time as an 8th grade Spanish teacher. And every Tuesday and Thursday, we started the day with yoga stretches. So if you know anything about junior high, they're going fast and furious in between the halls. It's their social time. The phones come out because they're about to go back away. It's like this and Harry Scary. You can't hit the ground running if there isn't a way for them to decompress in between, like switch gears. I just came from math. I just came from PE. They came from all different places. Now I'm going to ask them to do Spanish. So we were just like, here's your yoga stretches. I would put 5 on the board, but then I would say, but you choose the one you like best, because we all know that voice and choice is so empowering. And my teaching staff is like, you're not going to get those 8th graders to do that. No, they were begging. I've got these pictures of these 8th grade boys doing partner yoga where they're touching, because you know they want to touch each other, and now you're giving this appropriate platform for connecting physically. And especially coming out of the pandemic where nobody touched anybody and you weren't doing the handshakes anymore, the high fives, the hugs, none of that. All of a sudden, whoa, all of that can happen. Partner yoga. They would always be like, are there partners? I mean, if that's your favorite stretch, go for it. And the 5 to 7 minutes that we gave up doing yoga stretches, it wasn't lost or wasted. It bought us time back because they got up off the floor and they were ready to rock.
I love that a 5-minute activity can change the culture and focus of a classroom. So many of us are so anxious to lose time because we know that our responsibility is to just kill this content and make sure we cover it and hope that students grasp it. And you are giving us such a wonderful reminder to remember that students need that transition time, and we can make it efficient and allow us to gain the time back by having better focus for the rest of our class time.
Now, the feedback was funny. I liked yoga the best because I've never done it before and I'm probably never going to do it again. That was my favorite. But when I got feedback, besides like, I just love that you treated us like people, like humans, like voice and choice, like emotions. The feedback was we loved the time at the beginning of the class to just decompress. Because on the days we weren't actually doing the physical stretches, we were either connecting, like Motivational Monday was some sort of a clip, like a Steve Hartman on the Road or something. Wellness Wednesday was something usually from Wholehearted School Counselor. That was a beautiful image that I could project and we could talk through. And then Friday was really just get to know you Friday. So we just pulled questions and they could just volunteer if they wanted to answer questions or, call on one another if they wanted to volunteer to people. But it was always optional. I never, it doesn't work to put them on the spot. They're 13. They're already in an awkward stage. So I invited them. And if they wanted to participate, otherwise they were just actively participating by watching. And then they're there too. They're still there.
I love that there's an opportunity here for us to get students ready for a good learning environment while also respecting the fact that it doesn't have to look a certain way for it to be successful. I think as teachers, sometimes we plan activities that we have a really, really high expectation are going to go well. We know this is good for students. And then you have the one kid that doesn't participate. And that is the only thing you focus on all day is Rachel didn't do what I wanted her to do. And even though all my other students did, gosh, she was so frustrating, and just play along, and I love that what you're talking about here is providing opportunities, accepting what may come, and allowing your students to have, again, what you vocalize, that voice and choice in the process. Do you mind speaking to that a little more?
Yeah, it takes vulnerability. And that was not me the first few years of teaching. I had Spanish verbs to cover, and you better be with the program. And it was an elective, so don't be choosing that as an elective if you're not ready to speak some Espanol. No, it wasn't until my daughter came along and I was like, oh, what do I want for Kate? Because why haven't I been doing this? I was still providing the fun. Don't get me wrong, because I believe play is our brain's favorite way to learn. But I wasn't individualizing like I've learned to do, right? So you always think your first students get ripped off. And that's just what you have to, because you just learn more and then you're better, right? And so I think the individualizing, the saying, you know what, today you can either get on Senior Wooly and do some nuggets, or you can draw your vocabulary out on some flashcards, or you can, and they'll be like, which one's for a grade? You know what? They're going to all count the same, but how will you put that in the grade book? And I'm like, whoa, clearly we are not getting enough choices because we are so worried. But I'm like, y'all know yourselves as learners better than I do. So if I can front load that and provide you some choices, now I found another way to meet your SEL needs, but I have to be vulnerable and let go of the reins for that to happen.
I think that this is such a key reminder, and I would love to challenge our community here to think a little bit about how they kind of do that for themselves as they go through the day. I know for me, I have I don't know, Barbara, maybe 3 different hobbies, right? On not education related, 3 different things I like to do. They make me feel good every time I do them, but they're all very different, right? One is I like to watch soccer and I like to just watch the sport for English Premier League. One is I like to get on my workout clothes and I get to go on a walk with the dogs. Sometimes I like to sit down and do watercolor. And depending on how I'm feeling and what my brain needs, I choose different options. This is the same thing that you're choosing for your students. You're saying, we have an end goal. We want to feel good at the end, maybe learn something, maybe gain something from the experience. but doesn't need to be done the same way. And depending on the day, you might choose different things. And I accept that that is a part of our humanity in working with kids. I love this reminder.
Yeah. Do you want to do a word search? Does it count? The same as if you get on and do send your woolly nuggets. But okay, the more we do that, the less awkward and weird it's going to feel, not only to us, but to our class family.
Mm-hmm.
And then throw this one. Hey, which game would you like to play today? Oh, how about that Family Feud game? All right. Do you want to run the questions? Huh? They're like, we could do that? Get out of their way.
Yeah,
Like, they
so
are
fun.
13. They are going to high school. If I don't let them lead, when are they going to learn to lead? You know, they'll be thrown into leadership so they can bulk up their resume, and they won't even know how to do it if I haven't done that from kindergarten on.
Yeah, I love that. Really, what you're doing is you're creating almost a toolkit of different opportunities, and you're pulling out a few every day to say, let's see if we can try it this way. Let's see if you enjoy this skill. I love that you can even offer maybe the same 6 options, but because the content changes, you know, students might choose different mediums and modalities to engage with. I think this is such a good ability to make something possibly seen as overwhelming into a scalable routine.
Well, and it's funny too, because they said, well, you better get a seating chart ready, you know, because I had been out of the classroom being a school counselor for 27 years. So going back into the Spanish classroom, they're like, you're going to need a seating chart. And I'm like, why? Aren't they responsible learners? And they laughed at me. They said, no, maybe you can have fun, free seat Friday, but you're going to need a seating chart. Well, when it didn't work out with this one kid, I said, that's it. And it turns out he was supposed to be closer anyway to me. But then I thought, no. He came to me, can I have my, you know what, we're going to talk about that. And so here comes the vulnerability. We start the class with, Levi, I need to apologize. I got frustrated with you yesterday and I moved your seat without thinking it through. Would you like to try that seat again? Would you like to try? Is there somewhere else before my knee-jerk reaction seat where you would like to be? Now, I would have never apologized to a kid when I first started because, well, we were supposed to ride our broomsticks until Halloween.
Adults, we know best.
Girl. And my advisor, my evaluator actually happened to walk in. I'm apologizing to this kid and asking him where he wants to sit. And it's one of those like, is she really doing that? But I do that because I want to trust them first. And then if I can't, we can have a courageous conversation, but not in a knee-jerk, I'm in charge and how dare he disrupt my class. No, I'm the grown-up and I'm supposed to stay in better control if I'm modeling what I want when they get frustrated from them.
So good, Barbara. I could talk to you forever. We do a 12-hour live here in our community. Usually it falls like end of February, early March. And I feel like you and I could just do the 12-hour live and just have an absolute ball. But I want to make sure that first off, our teachers are set for the day. One of the things I want to make sure they're set for the day for is how to connect with you, because that's going to be a for sure action item on everyone's morning to-do list. If they're not already following on social media, picking up your book, going into your DMs and saying they loved you on the Teach Better Today morning show, how can our community stay connected?
Thank you. I blog over at the Corner on Character. So it's corneroncharacter.com pretty regularly. Been doing that since 2011 when Blogger put Blogspot on the market. I also have barbaragrunerauthor.com. And so I periodically just talk about what I've done as far as author visits and what I saw and what I heard. And that's so much fun to just review. People can learn more about the book specifically there, barbaragrunerauthor.com. I'm also on Twitter, which is now X, which may or may not be going away.
No one knows what to call that. Every time I interview someone, they're, like X, formerly Twitter, whatever we're calling it. I'm like, I think that entire sentence is the title now. I'm pretty sure.
It's kind of, I don't know. I'm not seeing my friends on there as much anymore, but I'm still there at Barbara Gruner. And then my book has a Facebook page, Mr. Quigley's Keys. Also working on my second book. I'm still looking for a publisher. So if you've got a publishing friend, you just send them my way. I believe Sarah's taken a hiatus from children's books, but this one's going to be pretty powerful because it's based on a conversation I had with my little brother when we were younger. He recently passed away. So it's going to be like a legacy story. And I think it's going to be really powerful.
I love that. And not only will I encourage everyone here to reach out if they have connections for Barbara, but maybe Barbara, we should talk. I have some ideas for you too. We're going to definitely get that book published. There's no question. No question. Friends, I want to make sure you go connect with Barbara. I always have told you, I will continue to tell you that we are stronger together, stronger with the more connections that we make. And that allows us to be the best educators humanly possible each and every day. We want to make sure that you also have a wonderful day ahead. And if you need anything or struggle to connect with Barbara, direct message me. I would love to help in any way, shape, or form to get you connected to Barbara and to get you any resources you need. So we hope you all have a wonderful day. And Barbara, thank you again for joining the live show. It was so fabulous getting to talk to you.
Thank you, Ray. It's so fun to see you in person and interact because I've been following you for a very long time. And I'm so proud of you. Keep up the hard work.
Same friend. All right, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.